Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. We got on today. We have had to reboot everything. So we are going to bring that into the live. What are we going to bring into the live? We're going to bring in the reset, the renew, and a bunch of other things. So I'm Cynthia Harrison from Rhombus Healing Arts, and this is the on-demand, which is the first half hour, 40 minutes of the free on-demand sharing, teaching. And after that, we go on to the Holistic Mystic Mastermind, which is $30 a month, and you get access to the lives and the masterminds 4 days a week, 3 weeks a month. Okay, so a bunch of information. And if you want to trial that, it's I'll put the link in. So if you're watching on Facebook, hey, YouTube, and whatever other groups may be seeing this right now, those of you on the mastermind will be able to be live on Zoom with me, and so I can see you and interact with you. But say g'day. I can see some people on Rhombus Healing Arts, and I'll pop over in a moment. So if you are on Holistic Mystic Mastermind, come over to the Zoom link. If you would like to be, put a me in the chat, right? Or if you'd like information on that, put a me in the chat. There's a 9-day trial. So, 9-day trial. And then after that, if you want to stay on, it's $30 a month, which is really, what do you pay on a meal? I'm amazed at what things cost nowadays. So I'm like, really? But maybe I'm just getting old. I don't know. Things just cost so much out there. So what's $30 a month? Because in the mastermind, you're going to get access to me to be able to go deeper into certain things we're talking and teaching about. There are things that I want to touch on today that if I go too much into, I will get kicked off Facebook and social media platforms. So I have to do that in a private group. So yesterday we came on. So let me know if you were with us yesterday. And we talked about, well, we didn't talk really. We went into deep connection with the mother, deep calling in of the mother. This aspect that when we are filled, when we call her in, so some may call that force holy wisdom, Shekinah, divine mother, Shakti, million other names, all the same. This force that is here with us on earth, that is an aspect of the beloved, feminine aspect of the beloved, which technically isn't masculine or feminine. It's a way for us little humans to be able to have a relationship. Because when it's so intangible, so ephemeral, it's like trying to hug air. So how do you get that direct experience? Have you had direct experience of the mother? Okay. So I'm just having a look on Spirit Whisperers Facebook group as well. So if you've got, yeah, just comment in there. So So to start, I'd love to see who's here. So as I said, there's two parts to this live. There's the free access on demand, is what I'm calling it. Cynthia on demand for now, which is more the mystic medic aspect, where there's teachings to a point. And then we go into the mastermind, which is where, you go into that link and you get 9 days free. After that, it's $30 a month. And you get access to the mastermind where we go deeper into the teachings, and you can ask specifically for you via Zoom, so that we can have a more direct relationship, a more intimate relationship, because that's how the energies work. Okay. So let me just get this. Why has a boat come up? So reset. So yesterday, if you're following and you were looking for where on earth is the Facebook Live, none of the technology was working. Right? None of the technology was working. So we just went live on the mastermind. So that's why I'm saying, if you're part of the mastermind, you get the replays, you get the lives. But we went deep into a process where we were calling in. I was giving you, as a mystic, I will give you direct experience of what I'm talking about. Okay. So if you were interested in that, and in these lives, we can access some of that, but the container's not as developed in a free-for-all, right? So the containers that we're developing in the mastermind is to build that energy, right? So whether you're there or not, you still have access. So let's get on with it. And if you do have questions in the Facebook groups chat, I can see Rhombus and Spirit Whisperer. I think that's the only place I'm streaming right now. So after the live, go back and I'll put all the links in to the things that I've talked about. I'm not going to do it now because it will distract me away from what I want to share with you. Oh, there's so much. So reset. I sent an email out. So if you're not on the email list, again, why not? I sent an email. I had a turkey come at the end of last week at my bedroom window. Woke me up. Well, actually, it was in the day before. And I was like, is someone trying to break in? It was a turkey, a huge tom turkey. And I took a little video of it and posted it. But the next day, I was woken up by the sound. And so I was listening with the ear of the heart. I was listening to, what am I being shown? What is in the field? What is around me? What is all of this information coming in? So it's like a renew, a restart, right? A recalibrate. And so there's many different times through the year where, depending on your religion, depending on your beliefs and family rituals and whatnot, but there's pretty much always something going on. But when they start to overlap with different cultural celebrations, pardon me, and whatnot, the power of people coming together is felt throughout the collective. You may not understand what's going on, just like you may not understand the subliminal stress, the invisible shadow, right? When the ionosphere and the magnetosphere of the earth, of this planet, shifts and changes, or when the sun is dancing, when it's quiet and when it's flaring. And most people are worried about the flaring. I track when it's quiet. I track when it's quiet, because when it's silent, there's no release of the radiation in the field of the earth, and that impacts us. Okay, so there's all sorts of things that are impacting us, and we have no understanding of them. We have no felt sense of them. Yeah. So yesterday I was talking about connection with the mother, connection with the holy wisdom. So when we breathe, and you've heard me say this before if you are regular, when we breathe, there's an unconscious breath and there's a conscious breath, and conscious breath heals. Conscious breath is power filled. Okay. The same as when we're walking through life, we have the ability to connect. We are the spark thrown forward. Okay. And then our job as creator beings is to then throw our spark forward, whether that's through having children or creating in other ways. It may be for some of you that you're being that into are-ing that. So the energy of how you are in the world and how that impacts others. So as you sit on a bus or in a vehicle or in a room or in a school or in a home or in the community, and people are around you, they feel. They may not be fully conscious, but your field will impact them. Their field will impact you to a degree. It's not true for all, right? Because when you're conscious of your own field and what's going on for you and how you can play it like an instrument, the 72,000 stringed harp that you are, the musical instrument that you are, and how you play your instrument, or how the world plays you, how the environment plays you, how others pluck your strings and create your song. Listen with the ear of the heart. When others strum, pluck, play your energies, you're not conscious. When you understand that you are an instrument and you can play particular strings of that 72,000 stringed instrument, 72,000 nadis, energy strings, you create experience. So what is your song to be? What is your song to be? I love this. I love it and I hate it all at the same time, because I come on here and I'm like, this is what I'm going to talk about. And then I feel into you and I start talking about something completely different. So is this helpful? Is this resonant? Is this giving you a little like, oh, what is she talking about? I want to know more about that, because this is not what I plan to teach. However, it's a It's a teaching that I've taught for probably the 20 years. Your song, your universe, the verse, the song, how you're played, how you sing, how you are into the world. So we're 5 minutes in and we've gone there. So we're gonna go places today. I can feel it, right? All right. So how to be that? There are multiple paths. I am a mystic, a metaphysician, and so the path that I guide and share is a direct path to the beloved. Now, we often will go off and share aspects of other paths. I can feel a sneeze coming on. I'm just working my sneeze. Okay, it's gone. Other paths, right? And I do that tentatively. The reason why is because when we go off onto these offshoot paths, we can get dazzled and razzled by it. Do you know what I'm saying? The shiny object, like it's like, oh, that's exciting, so I'm going to stay here, right? Where you start to build the capacity of your energy centers to be able to, and your breath, and having conscious breath, conscious speech, conscious action. When we build that, and we can create, right? Then we have more access. We have more direct access. And when we do, we get access to everything else. So for me, I didn't start with all of these other modalities. I went direct and I got access to a lot of information. Started coming in. I didn't train to be a medium. I didn't train to be a trance until after I was. And I wanted to understand it a little more. So a lot of you are like that. A lot of you are gaining, well, I'm assuming, because most people who are called to work or train with me or even sit in these circles with me have, generally are mystically inclined or have capacity. Otherwise, you don't even see me, right? You don't even see me. It was interesting that yesterday, the people that showed up from the mastermind not only saw me, but felt me. And as they saw and felt me, they experienced me. And as they experienced me, they experienced themselves. As they experienced themselves, they experienced the Great Mother, the Great Father, the Beloved. So much so that it took some time to come and merge and integrate that into everyday life. Meaning, heaven and earth, connecting heaven and earth. So if you're on Facebook, say good day, because I can see the comments, and I would like to acknowledge you, right? Witness you here. So being receptive, and then being able to give, reflect that to others, right? Reflecting that to others. So I'm just feeling into it because when there's no communication, there's certain information that I'll share and some that I won't, because I need your feedback. We don't need it. I'd like your feedback because it's sacred work, right? So while I can't see who's there and what your, the interaction, it's like an energy exchange, then I'm going to stick to certain information. And that might sound like, that might trigger you. When there's not an exchange in some way, right, you're not going to receive the way you would if you did. So just saying hello or asking a question or just giving a thumbs up or something is an exchange. Yes, Emma, come to the Zoom link that you were on yesterday. Hang on, I don't think she can. Bear with me. There you go. As I said that, I got a message for somebody to come onto the Zoom. All right. So this means we can go deeper. Okay. Do you see how it works? There's no accidents. So this morning, I'm going to go into this piece and I will be going deeper for those because there are certain words I can't say on Facebook, but I'll allude to it so that those on the free still get the information, right? Okay. So welcome to those that just came on. So I was talking about the mother. Hey, better late than never. It's okay. It's okay. So I'm just looking at, I made a couple of notes this morning on my phone, and these are the things I'm going to tell you what I touched on, and that will give you an idea of what we're going to go deeper into in the mastermind, right? The topics are the three minds: will, love, and wisdom. The three levels of love and fear, or fear and love. The three gates of the feminine. The three levels of the feminine. So the three gates of the feminine is something, this is why I can't go further when I'm streaming on Facebook, because they'll cut me off. But it's to do with transferring sexual energy. So that would be in your relationship. You can do it yourself, but there's parts of it that you can't, right? It's in partnership. And why I'm touching on it today is because this morning I was reflecting on what we talked about yesterday, and actually the message that you sent me, you know who you are, about the mother and these levels of the mother. And I was thinking about that. I actually was talking to Eric about it. And as we do, because this is our life, this is what we talk about. And then also this morning, we had this awesome conversation as we had a cup of tea around these levels, or even the window of tolerance for the window of tolerance. So I'm going to go into this. I'm going to draw it. I'm going to go into it a bit, but just setting it up. And some people have already dropped off, and that's cool because this isn't for everybody. This is really deep teachings that we're going to unpack along the way. So if you're coming in for short sound bites, I'm the wrong person for you, because I can't even say my name in, half an hour. It's like, right? Because they're so deep, and we're excavating, we're mining the self. We're mining the self. Excavating, uncovering, unfolding. Okay, so I've got the handy whiteboard here. Let's make sure that you can see. All right, so I also touched on the renew and reset, which the turkey reminded me of last week. That is turkey medicine, turkey dreaming, right? Everything in your field, every creature is speaking to you. And that's slightly another topic, but I'm listening and reading the field all of the time. It was about renewal, among other things. There is a post about that, so you can go and look at that. Relationships. My computer yesterday, that's why I couldn't get the live on. Restream wasn't working. Facebook wasn't working. All of these technologies weren't working. My computer was doing this weird and wonderful thing with Bluetooth. It just wouldn't, it didn't even acknowledge Bluetooth, right? The program, some of you were trying to get into PayPal. You had your own things you had to reset, right? And I was listening to see whether it was my end or their end. And sometimes it's a reflection, so we can look at that. And then we have our life, where we're resetting in our relationships. Okay, so that's something that I'll talk more about in the mastermind part, how I do that, and how you can do that. So program and life. So I rebooted my computer, and I don't like doing that because it creates other issues, but everything works again. It needed to be reset. Some of you, who you are, had to reset something too on your computer, right? A program, right? And it worked. So the message is around reset, renew. We're in a time, we're going into March and then April. Now, I'm going to share with you stuff that will blow your mind through March and April. Some of you that are more scripture-based will understand it in certain ways. I'm going to decode a lot of stuff for you, the mystic understanding of these teachings. We're coming back into Esther, Queen Esther's time. So some of you who have done those trainings with me may recall that it's about coming face to face. Do you recall? Do you recall Esther? You may not know it, but do you recall me talking about it, Queen Esther? Yeah? All right. So I'm going to touch on that a little bit. In metaphor, multiple ways, so that we can unpack it as we go along. So what did I talk about? I've got my little notes here. So I said the 3 minds: will, love, and wisdom. Okay? Right? 3 minds. Why is that popping up? There we go. So there's whole teachings on this, and depending on what area of this you would like to go, let me know, and I will go there, right, over the weeks. Actually, next week, I think is next week the last week of the month, because if it is, yeah, next week we're not on. We start again on the 5th of March, which is perfect for what I'm talking about. So, so I do calls 3 weeks of the month. Okay, first, second, and third week, and the fourth week I don't do client or Zoom contacts, because that's where I prepare for the following month. Okay, so will, love, and wisdom. So let me see what you can see. So we can say here is the body. Will, love, wisdom. Do you recall the wisdom point? And it's all right if you don't. If you're watching this, I'm going to go deeper into it. I'm just giving you a setup, right? A setup of what we can go deeper into. The wisdom point is 5 centimeters. I'm a little bit out. 5 centimeters above the umbilicus. So let's do it more anatomically correct, even though this isn't anatomically correct. So just say there's the belly button, the navel, the nubby. Wisdom points there. You can get all sorts of answers from deep within the self from the wisdom point. Do you remember the wisdom point? Do you use it? Yeah. Very powerful. I actually used the wisdom point this morning because I was having quite an activation. Awesome. It can be scary if you don't know what's going on, right? It was my heart. I have and yesterday it was happening too. I actually got Eric to support my back heart, which is the back chakra, right? A lot of activation, but I'm working on a particular. I'm extending and expanding my vessel constantly, right? So, so with that in mind, when we do high activations and higher meditations, general meditations and activations, it's not an issue. But when we start to get into the higher energies, you can feel a lot in the heart. So, I mean, I could say if you're doing any practice and you're feeling a lot at the heart or even pain at the heart, I have to say, for legal reasons, see your doctor. Go and get it checked out, right? If all is okay, it's energetic, and it's usually energetic. I've been working with energies for like 30 odd years. So when you feel a lot at the heart, pressure, well, when I say heart, I mean the heart chakra, right? You know, the rib cage, around the breasts, between the breasts. You can bring your awareness to the wisdom, 5 centimeters above the belly button. You can place a couple of fingers on it just to bring the body into it. And I'm saying this because some of you watching are advanced students and will be working with advanced energies and will need this safety button, so to speak, right? So if ever you start to work through that gate and there's a lot going on and you even start to feel some pain, wisdom, bring your awareness to the wisdom, not in fear, allow it, and just, it's like your little, I didn't think of it like a little button, but it is like a little safety button, brings it back to this powerhouse, which is in that lower area, which is, right? We're talking about the threes, right? Will, wisdom. Why do I keep calling it love? Will, right? This is one way of looking at it, just one. Just on those points, I could give you a whole bunch of other names, because you're all from different traditions. You're all from different ways of knowing. You're all from maybe have different religions or different cultural understandings, different, whatever you want to call it. The Mystic Cross references it all. It'll be different names. It'll be slightly different places. There is a spot under the belly button as well. Some people use that. This one particularly is for the wisdom point. And the reason why I'm touching on that is because some of you, especially if you follow along in the mastermind, I'm going to be activating you. We're going to be, in the old days, we would call it initiations. We had one yesterday. How'd you go yesterday? You all right? Was that good? Was it good in between, or was 2 thumbs up? Okay. Whoa, there you go. She's doing this. Whoa, right? That was the tip of 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 an activation that we can be doing, right? So we need containers that can support that work and not just be out in a, free for all, because I can't hold the whole container in that way. I can, it's more difficult for me, right? Creating that safety, because things are going to be happening. And so yesterday we had stuff happen and I was calling you back. I had to call you back, right? Which is fine. But I got to be able to see you, because if I didn't see you, I'd be like, where are you? Did you come back? So people watching on Facebook, I can't see you. So I can't take you to those deeper places, right? And once I know you got it, it's like swimming. I'm going to watch you while you're swimming to make sure you can tread water at least, or float on your back, you know what I mean? So that you have the safety in place. And then off you go and start swimming on your own. Will, love, and wisdom. All right. So where was I going with that? So we could have the dantians as well, right? The lower, middle, and upper dantians, which is a Tao or Tao understanding of energy, right? And there are meditations and activations for all of these separately and bringing them together. So we can look at that too. What else? So we've done the 3 minds, so that's linking to the 3 minds. We've also got the 3 brains, right? The gut. Are you seeing a theme here at all? Can you see it yet? Because I'm going to keep going, and right? So we've got the gut, the heart, and the brain, brain, right? The 3 brains. You hear about that, in natural medicine and all sorts of, gut health. In ancient Chinese medicine, and I used to work this way too, I guess I still could, but, I don't. I was taught how to literally, you could work with the whole human just from the abdomen. And that's how traditionally, Chinese medicine, would work from this place. And we still do in in energy medicine, you know, we have actually, so this will make sense now. So I'm talking to somebody on Zoom, but you can listen in. So there is we can do the 5 elements around the navel or around the, so we've got fire, earth, metal, water, wood. So this is just an indication of how else you can work, but there's a lot more, right? We used to work, and you still can, just at this place. So that just reminded me what I was going into with the wisdom. So this is a slightly different tangent, but I want to link up a whole lot of stuff so that you can just go, oh, and we're going to move over to our mastermind in a moment. But when we build our vessel, meaning the whole human energetic system that impacts our physiological and physical system, we activate. And when some people call it Kundalini, right? So it starts at the perineum and activates out, right? Right. And it's doing this. So it is these figure eights. Hang on. I know my pitch is getting very messy, but we do these 8s, right? Up the body. We can also do diamonds, which I'll take you through some diamond work as well through the body. There's scaffolding in the energy system, but at a higher level. So this is actually advanced energetics, this will, love and wisdom and here. And it does come from an advanced energy protocol where, you know, how I would work with your energies. But you can understand it and start to work parts of it, because what I do is bring pieces of the protocols that your advanced practitioner would do, which I would call the surgeon, the energy surgeon. You don't do surgery on yourself, right? Unless absolutely necessary, right? You're out in the wilderness and you got to sew yourself up or cut something out, whatever it is. You've been bitten by a bear or whatever, whatever. So you might have to, but generally you don't do surgery on yourself. You do first aid on yourself, and then you would get to a doctor, and then maybe they might refer you to a surgeon or somebody with higher knowledge, more advanced knowledge in that area, right? So I would be seen as an energy surgeon or a spiritual surgeon, right? I'm teaching you first aid and basic self-preservation, let's say, right? So will, love and wisdom. So when we, in a nutshell, and then we're going to move over, we have the Kundalini, or that life force energy, but most people know it as Kundalini, rising through, right, as they, following that. Oh, what? Oh, okay. Following similar pattern. Okay. The important thing I wanted to tell you about the wisdom is that we have advanced chakra or energy systems that majority of people don't know about, and majority of you don't have access to yet. Just don't. This is conscious evolution, the evolution of the human as a species. So we have the 7 power, well, we have much more. I work with at least 12. And we have all the minor chakras as well. So we have the main 7 that you know, but just know there's all of these higher ones, points within the head that are redundant really to any of you until you're doing high spiritual work, because they're not activated. They're not, I mean, when I say activated, they're there, just like they're all there and they're working together. But there's a fuel that comes from practice, right? So long story short, long story short is, so it's okay if you're not getting it all, because I'm just giving you the pieces that we're going to unwrap over the weeks. We're just going to touch into all different sorts of pieces. You can ask questions and I can take you into experiences. So so as you're activating all these power spots up the body, right, and out, right, you come back around. Come back around. So coming back around. And that's where we start seeing the fire, the red, the deep red, the Father. Yeah. If you don't get anything, get that bit. We are working with the Mother, the water, the Kundalini, Shakti, Shekinah, right? Divine Mother. The question I got asked yesterday was, what's the difference between the Mother and the Divine Mother? Or the feminine, or the mother, or the daughter, the mother and the grandmother? It's to do with this. And then I was talking after class yesterday around the, seeing it like a maturity of the energy, the growing or maturing of an energy from a child to a woman to that divinity, the grandmother, which in a lot of cultures isn't respected, but the matriarch, the birther of, right? So that leads to, I know I said, does that make sense? You with me? Just not, if it makes sense to you, I will use I use the people I can see as a indicator of what's going on. Because we got another, I'll bring this board over a bit so you can see this next bit. Because speaking of the mother and the drop of the feminine and the rise to the rose of the feminine is related to those levels as well. Related to where we have love and fear. And when you're in fear at this level, that's all you know. So we touched on that yesterday, I believe. Yeah. I feel like I touched on that yesterday. But anyway, we'll touch on it again. And when you're in love, you're just in bliss. Like you just infatuated. You have all the hormones going and you're in love. No access to that generally at this level of consciousness. And then we go up the level, right? Love and fear, where we start to get, when we're in love, we can still access fear. And when we're in fear, so meaning when we're in a heartache or something's happened, like nothing's going right, everything's going wrong in your mind. The what would you call it? So yesterday, for instance, none of the technology was working for me and for other people, right? I carried on. We still got the recording done. We still got the teaching done. We've got a very, in my opinion, profound experience, because I experienced it too, because I'm part of that container, right? So it doesn't surprise me that I was feeling it in my chest, because there's activation happening. So when we're curled up in the fetal position, because, you know, we're feeling like, what's life for? What's it matter? No one's ever going to love me or like me, or I'm never going to get out of this situation I'm in. When you go there, and I know that you many of you have been there, and then something happens at some point. And it's different for everybody, but something happens. And there's love there, or a sensation. There's a sensation of something else. Okay. Just to leave it there, because I want to give you the next piece. That's what I'm talking about. When you're in that distress and depth of, you know, there's a glimmer of light. There's a point of light. You may not see it, but you might feel it or sense it or have a knowing that you're going to be okay, but it hurts like all whatever right now. You cannot see a way out. And then something happens, okay? Trauma and these deep places we go are gateways to enlightenment. It's the next level of evolution. But there's another level, which some of you are already at, right? Especially ones I'm looking at, right? Where we have this infinity, this love and fear, and that crossover point. So there's this cross here. It's a gates. It's an access. That's a nexus. That's a that's also the 5 in Karam Kriya numerology. It's a gate, and it's also at our in our body, where we're going from the lower gates to the higher systems, right? Activating at the higher power spots, higher energy access, higher, or because technically there's no higher, lower, but for simplicity, I'm going to say it that way. And this is where we start accessing the divine intuition. Here it's just intuition. And here is just the gut or survival intuition. So this is why I have regulate to elevate. We're working with the survival, the past stuff that still is triggering your trauma and stress responses, because you go into this gut survival. You may have this intermediary intuition, which is where you can access other aspects of spirit. So you've developed your intuition. And then you have divine intuition, where it's direct. It's more direct access. So we look at, that's why we could say the daughter, the mother, the grandmother, for want of a better. In Chinese medicine, they say support the grandmother and you support all. This morning, these are the conversations I have early in the morning, because I get up early. And so when I've done all my practice and whatnot and worked it out, we'll say in the 1, 2, 3, 4. So all the inside of the circle is yin or feminine, and all the outside of the circle is yang, masculine. Right? So if I scan your system and I go, all right, your kidney's out, there's 4 there, pericardium is out, and let's say liver. They're all yin. Let's say bladder is out as well, and small intestine, and maybe triple warmer. We wouldn't start with bladder, small intestine, or triple warmer. Why? I just told you, but why? Because they're yang, they're masculine. If you don't have any yin, then yeah. But if the mother, the grandmother supports, right, then we fuel and support the yin, the feminine, the mother. Well, mother, in the way that I work, I use the mother in a different way. And I'll tell you about that in a minute, actually. And then we'll wrap up. So we would start with probably kidney, right? That's kidney. That mess is kidney. We could fuel. So if we fuel kidney, it's going to fuel bladder. And so kidney is the control of these elements. So, you know, they're going to get some love as well. And so then we might go pericardium, which is going to help with triple warmer and small intestine, right? And the flow wheel goes this way. So it's going to flow this way. So this one's going to get some loving too. So we might do this one, this one, this one, and clear all those, right? I know it's a mess, but I know what I'm talking about. On the other hand, when we talk about the mother, we can go, which is for one of you that I was talking to yesterday, not to mention any names, but you've got stuff going on here with gallbladder, right? And you were told that it started here at gallbladder. And I said, no, it didn't. It didn't start there. Its symptom showed, it expressed itself here. The symptom is never where it starts. The symptom is never where it starts. So if you're having medical stuff here, I'm going, where did it start? Let's look at the mother of this, which would be the one before. So we'd be looking at that or here. And for that person, I picked up metal. This is a metal element, which is lung and large intestine. When I asked them about that, I said, this is external anger. It's outside the circle. It's anger and other emotions too. When it's liver, it's inside the circle. So it's anger itself. It's internalized anger. So this is externalized anger, right? Among other things. But it originated here. And when I looked at that, just in passing, I didn't go deep into it. It was literally just a conversation. But this is how I see energy, right? It's like boom, boom, boom. I was like, sadness, the sadness under anger. Loss, grief, sadness, sorrow. Metal element. It's the ending, the death into the rebirth, right? Rebirth is going into water and renewal, the restarting of the whole thing. So the mother in this, so we're talking about the mother, right? And supporting the mother. And I know this might be a bit cryptic, but believe me, like go back and listen to this. So as we go along, when I speak of the mother, you will have another way of understanding. And I'm going to keep unfolding it because there's so much more to the mother and the mother energy and the force that she is. And when we recognize her and support her and have a relationship with her, an intimate relationship with her, where we're inviting her into our lives, we have 1% free will, or so you think. But while you think you have 1% free will, right, you can choose whether to invite her in or not. And so that force is around us. But if you want an intimate relationship with her, invite her into you, into your life. So you're speaking as one. So you are that force, that power. Adi Shakti. Shakti means power. Power. Adi Shakti. Adi Shakti is all the, like, you know, you got Shakti, you know, Shakti going up. Everyone's talking about Shakti, Shakti, Shakti. That's just power of the mother. And as she matures and you allow that relationship to grow, we get the ultimate, the all. Shakti Ma, Adi Shakti. We get all sorts of, anyway. So, oh, look at that mess. We must have done some stuff today. We must have done some stuff, right? Each point, each word that I said on there is a teaching in itself. It's like a teaching in itself. I'm just giving you grabs. I'm giving you pieces. So as I speak, as we go along, if you have questions about it, if you, you know, you want more on one piece of it, like I could keep going. I didn't finish this actually. So let me come back around here. You got to tell me when I don't finish things. I usually come back around, but we didn't finish this. And this is important. I know I went round. I'm not linear. Linear is the light coming in. It's the masculine. The feminine is the circle. Feminine is the circle, the container, the vessel. Right? All humans are the feminine. Whether you identify as whatever, right? You're the feminine in the masculine body or the feminine in the feminine body, but you are the drop. You are the feminine. If you're a human on earth, you are part of that feminine because it was the feminine that dropped. And the Kundalini is a microcosm of that. The drop of the mother from the higher, so energetically, you know, we're dropping from the higher. So it's micro and macro. Do you understand what I'm saying? We've got like what's happening for the whole of humanity, and then we've got what's happening in our system. So we've got the human that, you know, just off the side, we've got these vortices here, the mother and the father. Mother on the left, father on the right. The mother dropped. What are the biblical stories? People. Everything in those ancient texts alludes to what I've just said. All of them. So when we look at the mystic understanding of it, you're cracking the codes. It's all there. It's there as breadcrumbs along the path. but there's so much that's sort of hidden, and and they say that the parables were for the layman and the metaphor was for the mystics. The mystics talk in metaphor. There's coding in all of those traditions, and there was reason for that. There's coding even in the way that I taught in the past, and the reason was just like I'm saying, well, I can do so much live, and then we got to cross over to where I can say certain things and not get lose my accounts, right? Similar thing. If I give you very advanced, high level surges of energy, some of your vessels are going to struggle with that. When they stretch, when they, there's stuff happening. Like if I'm feeling stuff and I understand what's going on, I'm like, all right, I've just got to, move that energy in a particular way, or sit with it, or go the wisdom, right? But if you're not understanding it, you're going to freak out. It's going to scare you. Because when you feel discomfort, most of you will go to what you know. And a lot of this you don't know. So that's why I'm sharing. And that's why I'm giving opportunities to actually ask me, talk to me, and say, I've been experiencing this, or I did this, and this is what I experienced. Can you give me some insight? What's going on? It's going back to the core of how I used to do lives. Basically, it's like, what are your awakening and ascension, descension and soul embodiment? You want to know about that? Ask me. So it's about the rise of the feminine, is the spiritual development. Now, what I just talked about Queen Esther. So you can go and Google her. She's talked about in I think the Old Testament, but yeah, I don't think she's in the New. I can't remember, but there's only so many women that have books on them, and she's one of them. She links to this. Her story tells you about this. When you understand it, it's all there. So who she marries, why she marries, how she had to turn and be face to face with the masculine, with the king. It's to do with that circle of the masculine, feminine, turn face to face. So I'm going to this. So when you go through these levels. So these levels correlate in your spiritual development, in your development as a human being. There's no, like, when we say spiritual development, it's human development, human conscious evolution. I mean, I still say spiritual development so that people understand me, but one day I know I won't have to say that anymore. Humans are physical, soul, spirit. That is energetic. That is the human. Holistic, mystic. It is the human. If you're just working on one piece of that, you're missing a piece of yourself. You are not complete, and you cannot stand face to face with the masculine, with the Father, with the divine masculine. When you stand face to face, right? I know it's a mess, so just maybe listen. Relates to this. I'm going to get to that in a minute. When you stand face to face, when you've made it to Divine Mother, Divine Father, and they merge, utilizing the human as the bridge between heaven and earth. Earth, feminine, heaven, masculine. The mother and the father. within the self, when they merge, that is beyond the one. So yesterday we talk about unity and the one. The beloved, the no-thingness is beyond the number one. It is what created the number one, right? So go back to this, and we have the denser human experience, love and fear. We have that intermediary where we can access spirit, access the love, access the fear, and experience them not quite together yet, but we're aware, we're conscious that when we're in fear, in this world, in a relationship, that in our depth of despair, that there is love. There's the spark of light. And when we're in love, there's the spark of dark, yin yang. And then we get to this next level. Okay, I'm going to clean it up for you because there's, if I'm having trouble seeing it, then you are. Right? We get to this space where we're able to cross. We have mastered or mastery of the neutral mind, the meditative mind, the observer self, where we can see love and fear at the same time in everyone, in every experience, in every moment, because they are no longer like that, they are like that. And that's what the purity of unconditional love is that. So life is the circle with a twist. You heard that? That's life. Circle with a twist. Makes polarity. Here, we're still part of the polarity, but they're both there. They're both there. So I'm going to leave it at that for the Facebook. We'll go over to the Zoom and pull this out, and because I can see there's probably questions and I want to go a bit deeper. But I feel like I haven't left any loops that need to be closed, other than maybe the wisdom point, but that's a deeper teaching. So I'm going to leave that. So we have to move on because we've got class this afternoon as well, right? All right. So our Facebook, and I'm not sure if we're streaming on YouTube or not, but thanks for joining us. If you do have the Mastermind link, come over to the Zoom and have a chat. If not, why not? And if you want it, I'm going to put the link under here so you can join us tomorrow, because it's 9 days free, so you'll be able to access the video as well. So whatever we go into. So if you'd like that, check back later, and I'll put the link there for the Holistic Mystic Mastermind. Relevate's still open so that you can work on what keeps bringing you back to this survival state, like your trauma, your stress, and what past experiences are being brought back into the present, and seeing where the charge is in your body and being able to release that charge so you can utilize it in your system. And that just links to so much else. So I'm going to leave it there for now. I'm going to talk about that next bit in the Facebook Live. So much love. Thank you for joining us, and